2 minutes of racing gets underway now, and it's a good start by Bill Cowley from pole position, but as they drag towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time, it is the orange Derby of Peter Bove that sweeps into the lead of the race. Cowley trying to go with him. They've dropped the third place car of Mark Glover, and the two leaders go this way and that. Bove locks up as they head around Druids for the first time. Mark Glover's made a mistake there as well, so he's losing ground, and now Bill Cowley heads down the inside of Peter Bove as they head into Graham Hill Bend for the first time, and he's got through in the Cowley Mark IV, but Peter Bove immediately starts to fight back now, and he can't do anything about it. But the top two here pulling away part way around this first lap of the race. In third place at the moment, it looks like Mick Harris, yes it is, the 10-time champion, is up into third place after that mistake for Mark Glover up at Druids.
Yeah, Mick Harris, the local driver, going really well in the 27, but at the moment out front it is Bill Cowley in the car that his grandfather built back in the end of the 1960s, car that's been running in this series numerous drivers over the years, and won the championship with young Bill. But it's great to see them jostling for position. 7 coming up the outside there. That's Steve Boother in his Derby. Derby car was made by the late great Dick Harvey and Mick Harris, of course, over the years. But that's in the classic Works Derby livery. But out front, it is Bill Cowley in the 77. A car that looks like a Ferrari P4 from the next county. And it's absolutely stunning. Through they come. There's 17, which is the PRS, no relation to the Formula Ford PRS. It's Ed Pither, the Pither Rothery Special. And here comes Ed Pither, moving up past 7. But it's Cowley from Bove at 2 laps. Harris, Glover, Pither and Boother. Mark Windley in that interesting car made back in 1973, the white car in the background. That's the sort of baby Can-Am car from the period.
And look at this, Steve Booth in number 7 is back up the inside of Ed Pither there at Druids, and he just about holds on, does Pither, I can see from our commentary box window. So it's the number 11 car we saw briefly as well, Raymond Barley in the race kits Falcon. Big lead for the two leaders, Bill Cowley and Peter Bove. They're about 3 seconds clear of the rest. They're headed by Mick Harvey, racing Sue's 1996 Derby 597. A problem for number 31 there. David Reed, I'm afraid, he is pulling to a halt just on the edge of the circuit at Graham Hill Bend, the 44-year-old from Brinklow.
That's going to trigger a safety car, surely, isn't it?
I would think this is his first ever event as well, an inauspicious end to it. There is the safety car coming out on
Bill Cowley raised his hand. Did you see that? He was very quick to see the signals go out.
Yeah, so he will head around to be greeted by the safety car at the exit of the left-hander, Graham Hill Bend. So Bill Cowley picking up then. Yes, David Reed, the car that's triggered this safety car, did lots of autograss racing, Class 5 autograss racing and drag racing as well in a 10.7 litre Pro Street Austin A40.
Like you would.
Absolutely, it's the James Jeffrey prepared car.
There's another link to drag racing with 750 in that Chris Isaac was a drag race car builder who built one of the cars that ran in this series, and also built that Morris Minor Chevrolet that we see Craig Percy racing in special saloon events.
So here come the cars. This is to complete 4 laps then. Bill Cowley it is that leads them over the line. Number 77 from Peter Bove, number 1 in second place. Number 27, Mick Harris is third. Number 4, Mark Glover is fourth. Fifth is number 17, Ed Pither. Sixth is 69, Mark Windley. Then it's Raymond Barley, Steve Booth, Richard Jenkins and Simon Bolter to complete the top 10.
Chris Goff is a long way back, isn't he?
He is, yes.
In the CGR car that's been there or thereabouts over many seasons.
Yeah, he was, what did he get, about an 8th place result, something like that, 8th and 9th at, or 7th and 8th I think it was, at Silverstone last time out.
That's the clover coloured car in the background, number 2.
Yes, he was second in last year's championship, but finding going a little bit tougher this season it seems. Some cars, I was going to say, almost have come to a halt. Some cars did come to a halt as they approached Druids that time. The number 30 car of old Rick Hilliam is at the back there. Just to fill you in on Class B, which is a differentiation in the drivers' sort of experience and past success rather than anything to do with the cars. Mark Windley leads that in number 69. The driver that won both of the races at Silverstone, Jake Doherty, is second. He's 11th overall, and Alan Bunter is third within Class B at the moment. Safety car lights are still on.
In the Bunter-built Shark.
That's right. Yeah. Mick Harris just going through shot number 27. So as I say, he's a 10-time champion. This car was built by Sue back in 1996, 1997, and it's been raced in 750 Formula for more than 2 decades. Mick's borrowing it still, as he has done for a couple of seasons now, to do occasional races, while he's building his new transverse-engined 750 Formula car. So we await the arrival of that.
It's been a few years in the garage, hasn't it?
It has been, but we look forward to seeing that out at some point. So there you can see the sort of tail enders going through. There's Alan Bunter. There's the Shark that we were talking about going through. Number 29. He's number 28, I should say. He's in 15th position, just ahead of Ulrich Hilliam, number 30, who is out there in the ADR. There's the race leader, Bill Cowley. Safety car getting a bit of a wriggle on now because the stricken car of David Reed has been recovered from Graham Hill Bend. So I think we will get racing back underway at the end of this lap, with probably by the time they get there around about 8 minutes to go or something like that.
Yeah. And Mick Harris in third place in the purple number 27. Very, very relaxed, doesn't he? The other two are a little bit more interested in weaving, and Bill Cowley wants to know that he can go at the appropriate time. He had a 3/4 of a second, 8/10 of a second on both at the end of the last lap. Doesn't really count, though. This is the one that counts, because they're going to be back under racing conditions very quickly. Still the yellow flags until they get to the start line.
And they now cross the line and are greeted by green flags to get racing back underway then. And it was 3/10 between Cowley and Bove as they crossed the line that time. And Bove carries a good deal of speed up the hill. He jinks to the right. Cowley sees him coming in the mirrors and covers it off. These two have raced against each other for quite a few years now.
Many a long year.
So they will. Cowley will know how Bove races and vice versa. And Bove, equally very experienced, 7 championships under his belt, won't be going for any rash moves, I don't think.
No, it's funny that Bove can't maintain Cowley's pace through Surtees, and Cowley back on the throttle really early. Very, very different concept of car. And this and the Cowley race with an Austin engine originally.
Yeah. Bove racked up his 50th race win during the course of last season. So he's been one of the most successful drivers. We know that Mick Harris has won the championship 10 times. Josh Barrett observed to me yesterday, but not to know how many race wins he'd had over the years as well, but that'll be quite a few. I suspect he might be leading the way on race wins over the years in 750 Formula. 2 leaders then heading down Cooper Straight for the 8th time. Half a second between them at the start of the lap, and there's about another 3 seconds gap back to 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th who are together, Marcus.
Yep, indeed, and there it is. Mick Harris in the 27 leads that group, the Derby from Mark Glover. In the number 4, the PRS is 17, which is Ed Pither, and then Mark Windley, son of Roger Windley, and they're a long family with a long tradition in the 750 Motor Club.
Yeah, and back this season after about 12 years out of racing is Mark, and it is interesting to see that the Windley there, because it's something a bit different to the other cars around
they
it.
put a Fiat engine in it since it last raced, presumably.
It might have had one back in 11, I guess.
But it ran,
yeah.
Built in 73, that car, originally.
Yes, originally. Pither in the PRS, quite close to the back of Mark Glover that time. Mark Glover's had a couple of championships to his name.
And the PRS is curious because the driver sits a really long way back in it, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's got an enormous floor, which gives very good ground effect, apparently. And there goes on the inside. Mick Harris is squeezed wide by Mark Glover. Glover dives through the hole that's been created, and now we'll see whether Ed Pither can pick up some tow. And he goes through the middle of them. That's interesting. And that's all. And Mick Harris puts a wheel in the dirt on the outside, manages to get on, but Windley's passed him in that moment. He was kind of hung out to dry going into paddock, as there were three abreast momentarily.
But fortunately, he did keep it out of the gravel. He did lose the place. He's gone back to 6th position as a result, having been 3rd about 2/3 of a lap ago. So Mick Harris driving Sue's car down to 6th place. And he'll have to watch that he's not caught by Raymond Barley in the race kit's Falcon as well, number 11, that's in 7th place at the moment. Meanwhile, Mark Windley is knocking on the door of 4th position now, trying to get past Ed Pither. Mark, it's all got a little more spread out in 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th with that issue a lap or so ago. Not as close as it was. Barley and Boother are not too far behind either. Good scrap going over the line beneath us as well. Jake Doherty now up into the top 10 with Chris Goff behind him, having just done his best lap of the race. So that's a decent scrap, both ahead of Simon Bolter, but watching still Mark Windley on screen now in the number 69 car. Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
And which car is that has gone off? We'll wait for the dust to clear.
82.
82. Martin Kemp in the race kit's Falcon has beached it at the foot of Paddock Hill Bend. Won't be going anywhere now. So we've got the leaders over the line again. 1 second between Bill Cowley and Peter Bove. Now 8 seconds back to 3rd place. The leaders at Druids.
You've got yellows all the way from in front of the pits to paddock.
Yeah, there'll be a green on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend, I would think, with the Martin Kemp car having been beached there. So the leaders turning their way through Surtees and McLaren and Clearways now with 12 minutes of the race gone. I can see that I was going to say, I thought the checker flag might be being prepared for a moment, but I don't think it quite is just yet.
I think Bove is coming back at Bill Cowley. It was 1.23 seconds. It's now 0.52. He's more than halved that deficit to Bill Cowley in the 77. So Peter Bove has fastest lap, 52.920.
Yeah, so it's a really good lap time, about 6/10 or so outside the lap record for these cars. As Cowley now feeling the pressure from Peter Bove. Cowley's best lap so far, 53.17. 2 minutes of the race to go. So if we go the distance, we'll get 2 more laps at the end of this one. We do have that Kemp car stranded at Paddock Hill Bend, but I think they're probably going to leave that there. Yeah, could just by a single waved yellow flag now. So I think that's been downgraded. So over the line they go. 0.52 was the gap. It's less than that now. It's 0.14. And Bove to the outside of Bill Cowley, who just eases Bove wide, has to try and make him drive very wide around the outside there. And now Cowley takes the inside line for Druids decisively.
Yeah, it carried more speed in, didn't he? Which was quite a surprise on that compromised line. Bove coming back though on the outside, down into Graham Hill Bend. Lots of downforce on the front of the Bove car, a little splitter on the front of Cowley's, the lead car. And there's only, a minute and a few seconds to go. And can Bill Cowley hold on to this one? He's made some ground again through the fast sweeper at Surtees, and out he goes. And here comes Peter Bove. He hasn't won 7 championships for nothing, and this looks like it could be the salient point of this race as he gets into the slipstream. He pulls out alongside Bill Cowley. Cowley again makes sure that he's got the car absolutely bang central through the apex, and he's going to make Bove drive round him, if anything.
Yeah, last lap of the race as well for the leaders. 600ths between them at the start of the lap. Bove still trying to find a way through here. Through Graham Hill Bend, half a lap to go then. He's pulling to the left, trying to essay a move into Surtees. It's covered off by Cowley on the inside line.
Cowley's quick through there, isn't he?
He is. nothing Bove can do about him at that point of the circuit.
And he's not as close as he was last time through. So I think that if Cowley can get the car up onto the plateau of the top straight and keep it just maybe a car's width out, he'll get there to the checkered flag. And he has done.
Yeah, done it.
Tremendous drive from Bill Cowley. 0.37 of a second between the pair of them. A long way clear of the rest. And they're led over the line by number 4, Mark Glover, who's been third for a long time. Ed Pither in the 17. The PRS is next. Then it's Mark Windley in 69. And then completing the top 6, Steve Boother. Mark Windley won his class in the championship, the B class.
37 hundredths between Bill Cowley and Peter Bove in the end. A chunk less than it was on the start of the lap. So Cowley, Bove, Glover, Pither, Windley, Boother. Raymond Barley was 7th, Richard Jenkins 8th, Simon Bolter 9th, and Jake Doherty 2nd in Class B, completing the top 10. And Alan Bunter goes across the line now. I think the last driver to do so, but also on the lead lap. So let's have a look at the results of the race now. Confirmation of the victory for Bill Cowley at the end of 15 laps of racing by 0.37 seconds over Peter Bove in 2nd place. Mark Glover, number 4, took 3rd position in the race kit's Falcon. 4th to number 17, Ed Pither. Class B winner, number 69, Mark Windley, was 5th, ahead of number 7, Steve Boother in the Derby. Raymond Barley, 11 in the race kit's Falcon. 9, Richard Jenkins in the Shepherd. 6, Simon Bolter in the Derby, and Jake Doherty in the SSF, rounding out the top 10 in car number 5, 2nd place in Class B, ahead of Chris Goff, Matthew Unwin, Mick Harris and Alan Bunter, who was the last of the drivers on the lead lap. So Raceparts 750 Formula Championship, that will be back out again right at the end of the day for the 2nd race of the weekend, but let's now head down to Josh Barrett in pit lane.
So we're down here after that close battle between Bill Cowley and Peter Bove, and Bill's about to receive his winner's garland from James Winstanley. Let's have a word with Bill. Well done, Bill. A really close race, that one.
Yeah, it was really hard fought with Peter. I think I overcooked my tyres on the under the safety car because these Hankook tyres are a bit unknown. So I was trying to keep the temperature in him because I don't bring up the temperature like they do with the Yokos, and I think I put too much in him, and towards the end there I was losing a bit of grip, so I saw Peter there and he was very strong on the brakes going up to Druid, so so I had to get him covered, didn't I?
It's the first time you've driven on these tyres then, is it?
I was out at Silverstone the other month, but that was a disaster, let's not talk about that.
I didn't see that one, but a good race and hopefully more of the same later.
Well, I'll be trying, you know that.
Well done, Bill. So let's have a word with you. Gave that a good go, didn't you?
I did, yeah. But you know, when it comes to defensive driving, I think Bill makes Sergio Perez look like an amateur. So yeah, it was a good race. I think we're fairly evenly matched, but yeah, it was good.
Especially go on the last lap going up towards paddock, you were pretty much side by side, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether there were still yellows out at paddock, so I thought I could go for a demon move. It wouldn't have come off probably, and I might have got up in front of the stewards. So I thought discretion was a better part of valour.
You don't want that at this stage, do you? Well done,
No.
Peter. And then in 3rd position was Mark Glover. A quick word, Mark. Good battle for 3rd.
I'm fairly happy with 3rd.
Yeah.
It's I got caught out by the oil Druids on the first lap and dropped it back a couple of places, but made them up and got napping on the restart, which didn't really help. So, but overall, good race.
Well done on 3rd place. We're already heading towards our next race, which is for the Everything Motorsport Classic Stock Hatch Championship.